The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Stewart Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Knapik and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Knapik.
Welcome to the show. It is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I'm your host, Bill Knapik. Thanks for joining us today on this fantastic weekend. We're going to talk real estate. We have tremendous guests, as always, all the way around here. And, of course, reminding you once again, simply go to stewart.com/radio. That's where you could see the show, you could hear the show, you can access the show archives by going to stewart.com/radio. And let's get down to business right now as we welcome our first guest. He is Danny Frank with JLA Realty. He's the productivity and profitability expert and a real live real estate professional. Danny, welcome to the show.
Bill, thank you for having me. It's an honor. You know, you and I go way, way back. We were talking just a little bit ago. We've known each other for over 30 years now, and it's an honor to be back on your show.
Well, awesome to have you. And also, as you have been in the real estate world, we met in a different profession, but you're in the real estate world now how many years?
This is my 21st year. Been around the world once or twice already.
And time flies. In fact, at one time you were the chairman of HAR right
Yes, sir.
here.
2013, chairman of the board.
Super awesome. So here we are. But JLA Realty, you talk about great organizations.
It is.
John Altick has created a company, and it's another growth phenomenon right here in Houston. Let's tell people about JLA.
Well, JLA started about 11 years ago. It's funny enough that John and I were kind of coaching each other back before he started this, and we really got some things worked out to help him, I hope, turn what he turned JLA into. And by all means, it wasn't by guidance from me, but it was all comes together at Carl's Barbecue. We'd sit down and talk for hours and hours and hours about what worked and what didn't work. And JLA has come to be the brokerage for the agent. We are a company that just really caters to all the agents. We have a great plan. All of our team members are all in the same boat. We have a great 80-20 split, $10,000 a year cap, and no monthly fees. And we pay 100% on rentals as well. So we don't charge for E&O. We don't charge a monthly fee. We don't charge an onboarding fee. JLA now, I just looked this up right before we came. We're the fourth largest brokerage by volume in all of HAR. People have started taking notice about that, and we're the third largest brokerage on listings. So we do a lot of listings. That's about 70% of our business is on the listing side, and we just get things sold, Bill.
You know, I'm thinking you might be a great ambassador for JLA Realty. Just saying, just a little bit. And as you were talking, I just got a text from John Altick, so
Good.
He must be listening in. So in the meantime, a lot of innovations at JLA, a lot of reasons realtors love the company, but as productivity and profitability expert, give us an idea, the insight into that, because really those are important things in any organization, but give us an idea how you weave that in, these skills, into the real estate world at JLA.
Well, one of the things we do differently than most organizations is we offer free coaching and mentoring for every agent in JLA. There's no fee. John and I are available. All of our managers are available. We have weekly coaching sessions that are all Zoom every Monday from 9 to 9:30. If you're interested in doing that, shoot me a DM on Facebook find me on Facebook at Dan Frank TX and shoot me a DM. I'd be glad to set you up for a Zoom meeting if y'all want to participate in that. In my Friendswood location where I'm based out of, I actually broadcast the Zoom meetings, the coaching session every Monday at my office from 9 to 9:30.
So as far as your experience in real estate all these decades, as far as when you look at the market right now, and especially, let's say, 2025, what are some of the things when you're having your meetings at JLA and even your own speculation, what are some of the things that you're looking forward to as an organization, even as an individual, for this big 2025 coming up?
Well, one thing everybody talks about nationally, it doesn't really pertain to Houston, Texas. I'll tell you that straight up. We have more inventory in Houston today, listing-wise, than we've had in the last 5 years. So the listings are coming up. But what's interesting about this also, the days on the market are staying pretty much flat right now. But coming into the fourth quarter right now, we're going to take the dip. Now it starts about September every year, starts slowing down and slows down all the way through what I call Valentine's Day. The heart of real estate starts kicking back up again. So from September the 1st through Valentine's Day, real estate, is slows down. But the prices always tend to creep up during the fourth quarter. The number of sales slow down, but the prices tend to creep up. So, the fourth quarter is a good time to buy a house, a good time to sell a house, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to help you do either one you need to do.
I say it all the time. It is the best time to buy. Not this week, but the weather will get cooler.
Yeah.
And it's great to shop for a house, open houses, all those things. And there's just something about purchasing when it's cooler. That's
true. And Bill, selling real estate like I have in the Galveston, Freeport, Texas City, all of the South Bay area. During the summers when I was selling real estate every day, I drove a big F-250 diesel truck. It never turned off. The people were in the back. They had an ice chest in the back, and it was always cool. And I had flip-flops and shorts on, kind of like I'm dressed today. It's you go to work how you work, right? And that's kind of how JLA is. We let people do what they want to do. They get to run their own business there, and it's just a great opportunity for realtors to become realtors.
As you were describing earlier, the components, the things that people look for as a real estate professional when they join a brokerage, there's a lot of boxes to check.
Right.
And along the way of coaching and helping people and being in the world, what are some of the things? Because there's people out there that see the industry and say, oh, that looks pretty easy. I think I'll be a realtor, right? But what are the things that you see that make someone a good realtor, especially those that are thinking about it now and say, man, I think that would be a good thing? What are the successful components that are needed?
Bill, one of the things that I do is do a lot of recruiting for real estate. And I've always found it very easy to try to talk people out of becoming a realtor, because real estate agent is, I'm going to probably say it's the second hardest job next to a dairy farmer in the world. It really is. There's no time off for good behavior. This is like the Serengeti. You get to eat what you kill. I hate to put it that way, but life's tough sometimes, and you have to go out there and hunting every day to go out there and find things to put on your table. And if you don't have the client base or the mental acuity to go out and make those phone calls every day, do your daily activities. I think that's one thing JLA really does well, is we coach to what the daily activities are. And we know if you're making your phone calls every day, you're writing your postcards, you know what your inventory is in your neighborhood where you're farming. If you know all these kind of things and you're doing what we try to get agents to do 50 points a day on our daily tracker. And if you're doing those daily activities, you're making money. There's no reason why, as a first-year real estate agent, you can't make $150,000 in your first year. If you're not making that kind of money, that's when people start coming to JLA, because we coach to that, we teach that, and we really get people on the market of how to go to market and market yourself and do the things that you have to do as a realtor to become profitable.
So it sounds like if you do certain things on a regular basis, don't give up, are persistent, do the things that are the hard things that are necessary, you can be successful.
Very easy. Real estate is the simplest job in the world. It's just hard work. Real estate's very simple, but you have to go to work every day. And it's just tough to do that sometimes. Some people have a hard time making those phone calls. Some people have a hard time doing the daily activities that need to be done. In today's world, you have to be out there on Facebook, social media. You have to be doing YouTube videos. You have to be doing self-promotion every day. People have to know who you are to be able to find you.
And I'm glad you mentioned social media. As far as the coaching element, or as you're talking to seasoned agents, new ones, what are you telling them about social media right now?
You have to be on everything. It doesn't matter if you like it or not. You got to be on it, because that's where people are. We really there's several different platforms that are out there. You know them all, but the demographics are what's important, and who has money, the young 14 to 18-year-olds or the 21 to 50 years old. So Facebook right now is where the money is, and YouTube is where the money is. So that's where you can get your biggest buck. Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube are the three big ones for social media right now. TikTok, you get a lot of views, but most people on TikTok are still in high school or freshmen in college, and I'm trying to sell houses, not get views.
And when we sell, as a real estate professional, when you sell a home, one of the great things I see as we talk to people here all the time is once you build your business up, people come back to you if you're doing the right job, right? And that's a lot of people say, well, I just work by referrals. And that's one of the great dividends later down the road.
Mm-hmm. It is. When you get out and start doing stuff and learning your daily activities, I don't even know if you know, but I wrote my first book last year on it's more for the realtor on how to do a listing presentation my way. I have tons of videos. They're training on YouTube about different things, but it's all about training yourself and learning more than the next guy to be a successful realtor. You have to know your numbers. You have to know what's going on in your territory. You have to have great reps from Stewart Title to come in and help you do stuff. I got a call today. I'm a perfect example. Tara called me, said, "Hey, I need help today. Can you help me?"
Just moments ago.
Tara
Hobbs, that is.
Tara Hobbs, yep. I was on my honeymoon, and I left because she called and asked.
He leaves his honeymoon to be on our radio show. Danny, we're so thankful.
Thank you.
And that is also a tribute to Tara Hobbs doing tremendous work.
It's called personal relationships, Bill.
That's right. And that's a key to any kind of thing.
That's one of the things I love about Stewart Title.
Well, we appreciate that, Danny. Before we close this segment, what else do you want people to know?
I am an active realtor in the Pearland, Friendswood area, and I'd love to be your listing agent. If you think about buying or selling real estate, please reach out to me. I'd love the opportunity to at least show you how I do real estate and how I do it differently. Been selling real estate in the Pearland market for over 20 years and kind of know it well.
You kind of know Pearland just a little.
I do.
And also all the other areas in Houston. Danny, let's tell people how they can reach you.
My direct cell phone number is 713-569-8102. That's 713-569-8102. And you can find me on anything social. If you go search anything social, Dan Frank TX, you can find me there.
Thank you so much, Danny Frank. And I guess it's back to your honeymoon now.
Back to my honeymoon. Thanks, Bill.
Thanks
Appreciate
for being
you guys.
You bet it. Let's continue and talk money with Leah Stanger. Her company is CMG Home Loans. Leah, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Well, it's awesome to see you. First of all, CMG Home Loans. Let's tell people about the company.
Okay. So CMG was started in 1993 by Chris George. We are a privately owned corporation, and we are nationwide. We also service the vast majority of all of our loans.
So nationwide, that's
yes.
Covering a lot of bases. And you have an office here in Houston then?
Yes, lots of them.
A lot of offices, so covering geographically in a tremendous way. As far as the mortgage business right now, money's the lifeblood of everything. Mm-hmm. Let's tell people some of the things they should be thinking about right now if they're thinking about a loan for real estate here in the next couple of weeks or months.
I would say that now is a great time to purchase if you are in the market. The trend that I see right now is mostly first-time homebuyers because a lot of them, unfortunately, lost out when interest rates were in the low threes because they could not compete with, cash offers or someone paying over list price. So they lost out. Now, even though interest rates are a little bit higher, the market's settling down enough for sellers to be more realistic and offer concessions to clients, and they're able to get in the homes and know that down the road they can refinance.
So, and in a way, it also sounds like you're saying they're kind of getting used to the higher interest rate environment.
Yes, absolutely. Definitely. I mean, interest rates, the rates that we're in are actually a nice, modest range. I think what scares people is the fact that they got so used to seeing rates much lower, and they're sitting on the sidelines thinking that those low rates are going to come back, and it's just not going to happen.
It's funny you mentioned that over the weekend. In fact, yesterday someone said to me, "Oh, when do you think interest rates, should I get ready to refinance?" I said, well, I have no idea what's going to happen. Nobody does. But I like the term I've heard people say they're trending down.
Yes.
Do you think that's?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a year ago we were in the 7s. Now we're in the low 6s. So, yes, they are trending down.
Do you see, again, speculation, no one knows, but when we hit the 2025 mark, do you see a continuation of the downward trend? If you were to guess.
Well, what we're being told is that the Fed will drop interest rates. He'll do another 50 basis cut before the end of this year, and that they're expecting the Fed to also cut 1% next year. Now, how that affects interest rates is to be seen. But I do think rates will come down. I do.
So let's take the first-time home purchaser. What are the things, if someone calls you and they say, hey, Leah, this is our first time, we don't really know much about buying a home or getting the money to buy a home, what are the things that you tell the first-time buyers?
I spend a tremendous amount of time with my buyers, educating them, because that knowledge is power. I feel like so many times buyers will come to me that have been with another lender that were not explained any of the terminology. What does the process look like? So I want my clients to go to the table on signing day feeling completely empowered and knowing that they picked the right loan product for their family's needs. But I think if it's a new home buyer, my biggest advice to them is, number one, be patient. You need to be patient. Number two, you better have a very clear budget for your family. And number three, you have to be pre-approved, and I mean fully pre-approved. With my clients, I never issue a pre-approval letter unless I have reviewed income and assets. I make certain that they are fully qualified before I let them go under contract, and that's why agents love to work with me.
And how long does it take to be pre-approved, to go through this thorough process?
If someone is a regular hourly W-2 employee, we can usually knock that out within a few hours. If you have someone that's self-employed, then that's a different animal. You've got to review their tax returns. You've got to look at assets. It's just what percentage of ownership do they have in the company. So that could take another day possibly, but it just depends. I can move as fast as the buyer moves.
And what you said earlier, as far as terminology, every profession, category, and sequence in, let's say, the real estate transaction has their own terminology. So there's the mortgage, the language of mortgage.
Yes.
We talk about insurance on this show. There's a language of insurance. There's terms for each and everything. What are some of the things that people need to know from the terminology that they get confused on in the mortgage world? Because you do have certain terms that I haven't applied for a mortgage for a long time, but there's terms that you use.
Yeah, a lot has changed. So some of the lingo is a VOE, verification of employment. We have to check their DTI, which is their debt to income ratios. So there's a lot involved.
The acronyms roll.
Yes.
Keep going.
Yes. So we have to
I
source large deposits. We have to look to see on their pay stubs, do you have variable income? That's a big one right now. So it's
Would that
not
be VI.
Well, yeah, I guess we could
we'll
call
make
it VI.
our own
Yeah,
up.
I like
VI,
that.
variable income.
I like
Let's
that.
go with it.
CTC is clear to close. That's the best acronym you can come up with.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So a lot of the lingo that goes around in the mortgage world. But as far as when you see people in the first time, let's take the first time buyers again, as far as ones that, let's say out of 10 of them, how many of them get pre-approved easily? I mean, how many or what I'm asking is, out of the 10 people that you see that's it's our first time, how many have really great credit ratings?
I would say
Average.
At least 9 out of 10.
So then
I would.
They're ready.
Yes. And the ones that might not quite be ready yet, I invest a lot of time and energy and love on them, and I get them ready. So sometimes they're not able to buy within 30 days. It might be 6 months. But if they're willing to put in the effort, I'm willing to help guide them.
And that's
closing.
a good thing, too. That's part of the process, building relationships. And also what you're describing, Leah, is building trust, too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My tagline is leave it to Leah for a reason. I'm an absolute black belt at what I do. I used to be an underwriter. So when I sit down with clients, I put my files together, and they know that they're going to the closing table.
We're talking with Leah Stanger, CMG Home Loans. Leave it to Leah.
That's right.
I'm loving that.
Thank you.
I really like the black belt part because that means you are taking it seriously and you have the skills to deploy for your clients each and every transaction.
Yes, absolutely. We figure out a resolution for our clients. And that's the other thing that I love about the company that I work for. The owner, Chris George, if he sees that there's a need for a product for a client, he'll just go make it, and we'll do it.
And as I understand, Leah, you're in the profession now several decades.
Yes.
So you have seen a lot of things change in the world of finance. It has to be fascinating. What are some of are there any recent changes that we should know about that have occurred in the lending side of things?
I would say one of the big ones in May of 2023, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac went out and started doing loan level pricing adjustments on second home and investment purchases. So it really hit the rates very significantly for anyone wanting to purchase an investment or second home. And with us, one of the things that we did, it's our proprietary product. We fund it. We house these loans. We took away all the loan level pricing adjustments. So the interest rates for those particular types of loans are substantially better, and nobody in the market can touch it.
So other than the first-time home buyers, there are people out there that have purchased several homes.
Yes.
And maybe it's been 5-6 years since they've purchased a home or gotten a loan. What are some of the things that they should know? Anything different?
I think just be smart enough to get fully pre-approved ahead of time. That's just That's biggest thing. Absolutely, because anything can change on a dime in the mortgage world. So they need to just go ahead and do the due diligence. Don't sit and wait. Get fully pre-approved before you get in a car and go look at houses.
So what happened? This just came to mind. Someone they're approved, they're almost CTC, clear to close, if I remember.
Yeah.
So they're almost at that point, but all of a sudden something happens, not on the money end, but on the home end or on the seller end if I'm the buyer, and it's like, oh, that property's out. So then what happens? They go and find a new property, and how does that work on the mortgage end? Is that a big deal?
It's not that big of a deal. I mean, you do have to start the file over because it's associated with a new property address. However, at this point, you're just underwriting the house. That's it.
And before we close the segment, Leah, what else do you want people to know?
I just want them to know that education is everything, and I am happy to help any client at any time.
Leave it to Leah.
Leave it to Leah.
Black belt.
That's it.
This is the 541 shows, Leah. You are the first black belt of anything we've ever had.
Aren't you lucky?
We are thankful that you are with us. Leah, let's tell people how they can reach you. Leah Stanger.
My website is leahstanger.com, and my mobile number is 832-797-9750. 832-797-9750.
Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I say it all the time, our Stewart associates are the best in the business. And now we welcome Kimberly McFarland. She is the sales manager of South Houston, Galveston, and Brazoria County. Kimberly, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Well, here you are. It's exciting to have you back. It's been years since you've been with us.
Yes.
But in the meantime, let's tell people you are with Stewart Title doing tremendous work in a very interesting and important capacity. Let's tell people about your role at Stewart Title here in Houston.
All right. Well, I am the sales manager for our South Houston division. So that encompasses Clear Lake, Brazoria County, and Galveston County.
Big counties too.
Yeah, big counties too. Yeah. So we are in, obviously, Galveston Island, where Stewart Title started. We've got 2 offices on the island. And then throughout Galveston County, we are in League City as well. Then we have our Pearland office. We're in Lake Jackson. And then, of course, we're in Clear Lake.
A lot of offices, and also as we think of the growth in Houston, real estate wise, you're in a big growth area.
Absolutely. So Galveston County alone is growing leaps and bounds, as is Brazoria County. So you've got Alvin, you've got League City, you've got all of these different communities within those regions there's master plan communities coming up everywhere. Schools are exploding, lots of growth.
And if someone's listening, say from on the internet from out of the state of Texas, let's tell them the areas you're describing geographically, kind of where that is.
So this is more southeast of Harris County, which is Houston. Think of Harris County kind of like LA. So Houston encompasses a whole lot of different communities and sub-communities and suburbs, so to speak. And these are suburb communities in the southeast region, closer to the Gulf Coast.
And we have, I don't know the exact count, maybe you do, Kimberly, but we have about 15 to 70 business development people or so in the greater Houston area, and you're leading the charge with them in this geographic area. As people hear, they know about Stewart Title. Most people do. They hear about us, especially in Houston, but sometimes they don't realize the resource that our business development people are to the real estate community, whether they're realtors, mortgage people, or even just buyers and sellers. Let's tell people that some of those resources that we provide and that you're leading at Stewart.
Absolutely. So, of course, Stewart Title is a title company, but at the end of the day, title companies are all regulated by Texas Department of Insurance, and you can argue that we all essentially do the same thing. So at Stewart Title, what we try to do differently is, number one, we're one of the large 4 underwriters in the nation. So we have that sets us apart. We have our home base is in the Houston area. So we have a huge footprint in and around Texas and on through the Houston area. But what we like to employ our business development officers to do differently, as opposed to our competitors, is we want them to be a part of your business. So whatever the pain points are, we're going to provide values and resources to help you get to your finish line, whatever that may be, whether it's lending or it's on the real estate side.
And give us an idea. In a lot of the way that happens is a lot of the activities, the relationship building that our team does. So in terms of the activities, there's activities that our people are doing out there, and we talk to them about it on the show. But if someone doesn't know about that, give them an idea of some of the things our guys are doing.
It could be anything within the community. Maybe we're helping do supply drives for schools. Maybe we're doing different nonprofits that are big in our communities, or maybe we're helping our agents with their open houses. We're providing market information. We're providing statistics. We're providing resources to help get them to the closing table more efficiently, more seamlessly. I mean, just being a part of their business and listening to figure out what it is that we can do to cater our experience towards their needs.
And one of the things that strikes me as we've had our own meetings and I've seen you give presentations, I'm amazed because I talk about the resources all the time, but you apparently know and practice some interesting and very creative things to where you become a resource, our people become a resource, to where they're in a jam, they have a question, they call.
Absolutely.
Or they may have a question about, I think one of the examples was a homeowners association.
Yeah.
Just things that are details and everyday things in a real estate transaction. But I bet there's realtors out there that don't know we can help them in so many ways.
Well, absolutely. I think that as real estate agents and lenders, really all facets of the real estate community, everyone's wearing a different kind of hat. If you can figure out what the different hats are and how you can incorporate those and help them add something to their business, whether it's their social media marketing, whether it's Google My Business, whether it's trying to find a proof of purchase form for a MUD, or it's an HOA, property transfer fees, or whatever it is, tax certificate, tax rate for the community that you need for your sellers to upload your listing. Whatever it is, we want to train our teams and our business development officers to be that missing piece to kind of help move the needle a little bit quicker. We want you to think, oh, I'm going to call Brittany at Stewart Title, or oh, I'm going to call Morgan, or whoever it is that is your business development officer. That's what we want y'all to think of when you think of Stewart Title.
certainly that we are part of the team that's
Absolutely.
going to help you grow your business and also get the real estate transaction from where it is to where you need it to be.
That's right. Make your life easier and make you look good.
Getting from A to B.
That's right.
It's super fun. And also, you're very adept in the sales profession, as I've noticed as well.
Well, thank you.
Give us an idea. Some of the things, if someone said to you, how can I be successful in the title business? What are like the top, just maybe 2 bullet points in terms of some of the things that you do?
Well, I always kind of joke that nobody actually like aspires to become entitled. We all just kind of fell into this and we're not really
I think
sure
it's the
how
best
or
place
why,
to be
right?
too, by the way.
But then
Yeah.
you get to it and you're like, wow, it's kind of cool here.
It is.
But there's a lot of different variations of it. So I think just immersing yourself in the different moving parts, asking a lot of questions, and then figuring out how it works so you can at least know enough to be dangerous.
And that's right. And also being a partner with a real estate professional. And that's not just realtors that we're helping.
Right.
But we're working hand in hand with mortgage professionals, also those in the inspection business and so many
Absolutely.
other worlds.
Absolutely. Insurance, surveying. There's so many different pieces of it, so many different cogs in the machine.
And of all the things you can be doing, Kimberly, we're talking with Kimberly McFarland. Kimberly, all the things you could be doing. You have so many talents, and I'm aware of them. I'm a fan,
Thank
by
you.
the way.
Oh,
What is it about the real estate world, even the title world, that keeps you so excited about it?
honestly, it's ever changing. So the market's constantly changing, and so as a result, the style of the market is going with it. So it's just a lot to keep up with, and it's fast paced, and I like that about it.
Yeah, boredom isn't even a thing.
I don't like
is
to
it?
sit still.
There's no such thing in the world that we are in.
No.
There is no boredom. Things are
No.
dynamic.
There's
They're
always a
changing.
fire.
And there's fires to put out. There's
Yeah.
no doubt about that. But also, as far as the market conditions that you're seeing from a real, even if you were a realtor and you looked at the places, the Brazoria County and Galveston and those things, what's happening there? What would you describe to people if they said, "Hey, man, what's going on down there, real estate wise?"
I think if you talk to most people, it's definitely affected by where we're at. So election has a lot to do with it. We're in hurricane season, the economy. There's a lot of different check marks that they're all ticked off as far as things that affect a real estate market. I think things are a little bit slower than most people would like. And there's a lot more inventory and things aren't moving quite as much. Interest rates are part of that, I'm sure, that lenders can speak to. But I think everyone's kind of waiting to see what will happen with election-wise, because that usually gets markets moving a little bit faster. And then we're all hoping, fingers crossed, that we can get back to a healthier market. But it's definitely balancing out.
It's very exciting and dynamic, as said. But also, one of the things, we have a tremendous individual, and I want to talk about him just a little bit.
Sure.
And you know Drew Dobbs. He's
Yes.
our division president,
Yes.
South Houston and Galveston. I mean, we have top people on our team all the way around,
Absolutely.
not to mention Max and everybody else. But let's tell people a little bit about Drew, because he has some outstanding credentials and skills.
Well, I don't want to brag about him too much and give him a complex.
I think I already did. But
He's pretty okay. No,
Pretty
we're
okay.
Yes, we're really excited. So Drew and I actually started at Stewart Title together several years ago. We left for a brief period and went and started a branch with a competitor, and then Drew was approached by Stewart to come back, and he brought every single person on our team back. So we're happy to be back and growing with Stewart again.
in fact, he's got a lot of experience in the industry
lot.
and a lot of vision as well. I think that's going to be one of the exciting things as
Yes.
we go with your contributions, our sales team, and also with Drew and the others as we go forth vision-wise for 2025.
Yeah, absolutely. We are looking to grow even more than we already have. We already have a really big footprint in the area, and we're just looking to expand upon that and build our reputation back in a positive direction.
Also, later in the show, we're going to meet one of our new additions, Brittany Hernandez. That's going to be exciting
Yes,
as
we're
well.
so excited about her. She just joined our Pearland team.
Well, Kimberly McFarland, before we close this segment, what else do you want people to know?
If you've got a transaction that you're working on, remember to call Stewart Title and let us help you with it.
It's that easy.
It's that easy.
Stewart.com to find your closest office, or if someone wants to reach out to you, Kimberly McFarland, what should they do?
You can always reach me on my cell phone, 713-408-0255. I answer the phone, or you can text me, or you can shoot me an email at kimberly.mcfarland@stewart.com. 713-408-0255.
Thank you, Kimberly.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title would not be possible without our partner Stewart Insurance. With a focus in real estate and a special focus on real estate brokers, Stewart Insurance creates insurance plans to address the risks facing our industry today. They invest a significant amount of time helping real estate broker owners offset and manage their risks. Here he is, once again, John Bramlett with Stewart Insurance.
Hey, Bill. Good morning. Good afternoon.
So much information once again, John. It's astounding. And we even had a black belt on the show.
We did have a black belt, yes. Yes, no, it's been an excellent show, and they get better each week.
And there's still moments left. It's not done yet.
No, we still have a couple surprises.
It's unbelievable. So here we are. Insurance is a super oasis to pull over to during the show and find out what you're bringing for today.
Well, occasionally it's nice to remind our listeners a little bit about Stewart Insurance and what we have to offer and where we have to offer it.
So many things, too. And, of course, stewartinsurance.com, the full menu is there. But, yes, there are some bullet points you want to tell us about.
Absolutely. The full menu is at stewartinsurance.com. And if you're ready to get started, you can, one of the ways you can do that is through on stewartinsurance.com. But it's important that our listeners understand that we are a full-service independent property and casualty insurance brokerage. And that simply means that we have an access to a variety of companies to help build insurance plans versus a captive agent that is limited to what that company offers in that market. So whether we're helping a real estate broker with their errors and omissions and cyber liability and general liability coverage, or a family with their home insurance, auto, and flood, we work with a variety of companies and have access to a variety of companies to make sure that we build the best plan possible based upon what that organization or family's needs are.
Indeed. So that offers the client flexibility, options, sometimes for different plans, for better pricing, different kinds of coverage. So it really is tremendous for the clients.
Absolutely. So it's like all of our guests have spoken about today is investing the time to find out what our clients' needs are, investing the time to determine what they need to accomplish at this point in their life or this point in the life of the business, and then based on that, build a plan that makes sense. Because like you said, in some cases, it's going to be critical that they have a very robust plan with a lot of coverage. There could be some instances where it needs to be a very conservative plan from a budgetary perspective. And as long as we understand that, then we can work with our client to make sure that happens and that we work with clients all over the U.S., both business clients as well as individuals and families.
And even though it's not an official theme on our show today, one of the things that is recurring is the idea of partnering, relationship building with all our guests today. And with Stewart Insurance, that's one of the things you're doing. You're partnering with your clients to help them with their insurance needs.
Absolutely. We really have a couple of areas that we try to focus on. The first is risk management. And all a risk is a probability of something bad happening. So if we can work with our clients, whether they be families and individuals or businesses, on some things that they can do to minimize those risks, then there's a less of a chance that they're going to have to file a claim. But if they do have to file a claim, if they do need some assistance, then how can we offset that exposure, the cost of something bad happening, onto an insurance company? So finding the right partner to offset that exposure to is what we do. Part of that is by providing continuing education classes for our real estate broker audience out there and the realtors out there. So I'll teach close to 70 classes this year for folks where we're going out and helping our real estate brokers and real estate realtor partners be better suited to provide the type of guidance that their clients expect from them. So provide those extra nuggets of information, those extra if you will, arrows in their quill in order to truly be that value add that their clients are expecting them to be.
In fact, I just thought of another unofficial theme, and that is service. We are all providing service, and we do so in a way to exceed expectations, all of us.
Absolutely. Our focus is what can we do to help you? What can we do to provide value to you? Because we know if we do that, then we've earned the right to ask for your business.
And as you mentioned, you're doing these presentations You said 70. I thought that was in 1 week. Because
No,
the
not
one
quite
week I
1
saw
week, no.
so many Facebook posts, I'm thinking, hey, is he even sleeping? But you're no stranger to Brazoria County, Galveston. I mean, you'll go all over.
Yes, we go all over. We offer the classes 3 ways. A good majority of our classes are taught in Stewart Title offices. So we've got one coming up in the League City office that was referenced earlier. We've done several classes in our Pearland office and several classes in the Galveston County office over the last couple of years. So that's the primary way. We also offer the classes online with partnering with the Houston Association of Realtors. So those are live Zoom classes that the Houston Association of Realtors proctor. So it is just like sitting in a class with me for that period of time. And you can find those classes at har.com/education. And then we also go to real estate brokers' offices. So there are times when a broker would like us to come out and teach their team, and we do that as well.
So, and I would think as we are at this point in time of the year, next year, you probably are already scheduling, if not have your schedule pretty well laid out for next year.
We are. We have a couple of folks that have come in at the last minute and wanted some assistance for the end of the year. And we're happy to accommodate that. So we're working on those right now, but we are beginning to schedule classes for 2025. Yes.
So if you're out there, especially if you're a real estate broker, there may be a broker listening right now, John, that says, hey, I hear John on the show with his insurance expertise. I wonder if he would do a class with us over here at the, JLA Realty or somewhere else.
Absolutely. No, we would love to be able to come out to an organization like JLA and offer classes for their realtors and the professionals on their team. And we have 3 really exceptionally good classes that truly can benefit.
You're reading my mind. I was going to say, let's lay out the menu.
Well, the menu is, so we've got real estate liability, reduce your risks, and protect your license. It's a 3-hour course. And that is the first part. We spend quite a bit of time looking at what a risk is and what exposure is and how we can minimize those risks and offset that exposure. We look at 8 specific risks that real estate professionals face every day, and we talk about those. And then we look at 7 ways that you can minimize those risks, and we do that through a couple of case studies. So it's a very interactive class. And then at the end of the class, we look at additional ways that you can offset those risks, including looking at 3 different types of insurance plans that can help offset that risk. And that's a 3-hour class. The second offering we have is Property Insurance Essentials for Real Estate Professionals. And what this class does is allow a realtor to better understand how their clients are going to be using the property. And based upon how their clients are going to be using the property, that's going to direct the type of coverage that might be necessary. So if you've got a client that's buying a home and it's going to be their primary residence, that's home insurance. But if they're buying a home but they're going to use it as an investment property, home insurance doesn't cover that. Or if they're using it for investment property but it's going to be short-term rentals, that's a different type of coverage. So we look at different types of coverages based upon how the property is used. And then we also spend a few minutes at the end talking about flood coverage. And that's a 2-hour class. And then the last one is the 2 sides of water. And
it's a crowd favorite.
That's a crowd favorite. And we look at 2 types of water damage. The first type of water damage is caused by a flood, and there is a specific definition of a flood. That water damage has to meet that definition in order to be considered a flood. So we cover what that is, and then we look at what flood insurance does and doesn't cover. And there are a couple of options out there for flood coverage, and we walk through that. Then the second side of water is water damage that occurs inside the home, where a home insurance plan may come into play for the coverage. And there are 4 types of water damage that we look at there, as well as we discuss things like actual cash value versus replacement cost. Is it a named perils or an all perils policy? And then different ways that folks can manage their investment when it comes to home insurance.
When you mentioned about the class relating to realtors' risks that they face, I think it was 7 every day or 5?
We're 8 every day.
8 every day. So and I'm not saying a realtor should be paranoid, but I think in the course of business, the momentum and the things that realtors are doing every day, sometimes I bet they don't even think they're at risk, but they should be mindful that there are perils out there that could come into play. So,
well, you're exactly right. I mean, it's not. There's not anything on that list that's shocking. There's not anything that people say, wow, I didn't think about that. But what it does is it, as you said, it just brings it back up to top of mind. And as long as you're aware of it, then that's okay. There's nothing you can do in life to avoid risks. We're always going to deal with risk. But if you're aware of them, that's half the battle. And then if you follow some of the suggestions we have on how to minimize them, then you can really lessen the chance of something bad happening.
Always great information, John. Let's tell people how they can reach you at Stewart Insurance.
They can reach us at 866-798-2827, 866-798-2827. As you mentioned earlier, and thank you for that, they can learn more about us at stewartinsurance.com, or they can email us at stewartinsurance@stewart.com.
And, of course, we broadcast the show right here in Houston, Texas, but you're helping people all over the United States,
That's
not
correct.
just here in Houston.
That's correct. We have both business and family and individual clients all over the U.S.
I'm getting a feeling, John, there's someone in Pearland that needs to hear the number again.
The folks in Pearland should call 866-798-2827.
Thank you so much, John Bramlett.
Always a pleasure, Bill. Thank you.
As we continue, it's always fun to talk to Tara Hobbs. She is our branch operations manager. That's right, Pearland, Texas. Tara, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me back, Bill.
Well, here you are. You brought us a surprise today.
I did.
You're doing tremendous work, you and the team, right there in Pearland, Texas.
We work hard every day.
And I bet people, as you've been on the show now several times, people are reaching out to you. Hey, I heard you on the show. All that.
It's been interesting. People are like, hey, I caught some old runs. And I said, okay, wonderful. That's great. I love that you're listening. Listen this week.
And we have a special person here today that you brought. Let's tell people first, before we meet Brittany Hernandez, let's tell people a little bit about Brittany.
Oh, Brittany is our new marketing person here at our Pearland office. And Brittany comes to us. We're just a few days old in this endeavor together, and we are just very excited of what she brings to the table.
And here she is, Brittany Hernandez. Brittany, welcome to the show.
Hi, Bill. Thanks for having me.
Well, I met you first on Facebook.
I did,
so isn't
you
it
did.
that's real modern stuff. That's
I know.
how
It's social media. I mean, where would you be without it?
it really is. And here you are, just days into your work at Stewart Title, and you're on the radio on a massive media platform.
I mean, mama, I made it, right?
I guess so. Well, as here you are at Stewart Title now, you're going to be developing business in a tremendous way. Give people an idea of some of the things that drew you to Stewart Title.
Well, Stewart Title, as you can see, has really good people in the business. So, I mean, this thing kind of just fell in my lap, a last-minute thing, and I'm kind of running with it and hoping that I can get a lot of business coming to Pearland. I'm real big in the community. My son goes to Pearland High School, so I'm hoping that I can bring a lot of the Pearland community in, as well as the surrounding areas as well. So, and just help everyone out.
And I've never lived in Pearland, but I've gone there quite a few times, and that's one of the things you're using the word community. I think Pearland, it is a nice community,
Yes.
and you actually live there, and your
Yes.
son's in school.
Yes, yes. So we are right close to 288. So Pearland has a big reach out there. So we've got 288 area, Pearland, Deep Pearland area, Alvin, Manville as well. So we're just big around there, and you can get a lot of business.
And not only that, for those listening outside of Houston, Pearland is, correct me if I'm wrong, pretty much directly south of Houston,
Yes.
right?
Yes, we're not very far. I mean, we're within the Beltway reach, so you can find us. We're not, an hour away.
A
So,
good location, no
Yes.
doubt about it.
Yes.
So, Tara, what are some of the other things going on in Pearland? I mean, it's a great area right now.
It's a wonderful area. We are very, as Brittany said, we're very right in the middle of a lot of different communities that have a lot of growth and development happening. The Rocheron area down towards Iowa Colony, it is just booming, booming, and booming. The Alvin area, which has schools all the way up into Shadow Creek, is Alvin ISD. So they are working on plans for their next high school, which would make 5 high schools for Alvin Independent School District. You roll into Pearland, and Pearland has such a wonderful, diverse, you go from the old side of Pearland into the newer growth and developments. You've got all kinds of things in Shadow Creek. There's the new developments over that are kind of by the 288 area and that corridor. Everything is just booming and busting out in that side of town.
Yeah. Up and coming. Everything.
New growth, new buildings.
Everything.
I need to, after the show, I'm going to take a drive to Pearland after
Come
I get my
on.
work
Come
done.
on,
You
let's
know
go
where to
have some
find us.
barbecue. Let's go.
Is that a good thing?
Bighorn Barbecue.
Well, that sounds awesome. And one of the things, the way this works here in the title world, at least with Stewart Title, this is a rare opportunity because, Tara, You are an escrow officer
I am.
managing the office, and now you are going to be our ambassador to where you're going to be telling people like we do on the show about Tara and the team, how they do tremendous work.
Come meet my people. They are amazing. We will get you taken care of, one title at a time.
I was hoping you were going to throw that in. Thank you so much. Brittany, let's tell people they want to reach out to you. You're going to also be doing some educational things, fun things for the real estate world. Let's tell people how they can reach out to you.
They can reach me at 832-728-7646. You can also find us on Facebook at Stewart Title Pearland. I just created that today where we can get everyone in. We're going to have some posts. But again, my phone number is 832-728-7646.
And Tara, the office number, I know people right now are scrambling. I want to bring my real estate transaction to Pearland.
Bring it.
Bring it on. Let's go.
The office number is?
281-412-6900.
Thank you, Tara Hobbs and Brittany Hernandez. Welcome aboard, Brittany.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
Awesome. And now, as we continue, Danny Frank is here with JLA Realty. What's a final word from Danny Frank at JLA?
You know, Bill, just call me. I'll sell your house for you, get it done. My average days on the market, I just looked it up, 28 days on the market. I got about $9 million of inventory for sale. Call me. We'll get your house sold in the Pearland Friendswood market, and we'll get it done here at Stewart Title as quickly as possible.
I like that. Just call me.
Just call me. We'll get it done.
That could be a logo and a whole thing.
Yeah.
The number again, Danny, is
713-569-8102, and I'm here to help and serve.
Lots of experience.
Lots of experience.
Danny Frank. And now,
thank you, Bill.
Thank you. And we say hi to John Altick, don't we?
Yeah. What's up, buddy? Hello, John.
First and foremost, it's about just caring for the client. And so I will strive always to exceed expectations. When people work with me, they know that they can leave it to Leah.
Leave it to Leah. Well, and also, I would think the world that you're in, there's a lot of details. You have to be organized. How do you plan ahead for your 2020? You probably already have your plan, but what are some of the components that you think about to say, okay, 2024, wind up, how am I going to approach? What do you do as a seasoned professional?
I set very clear and precise goals, and I set those it's coming up. October, November is when I do that for the next year. And I have to dial it in to make sure that I'm reaching people in different formats that in the past, you get your business from realtors primarily. This past year, the majority of my business has come from past client referrals. So you have to just look outside of the normal revenue streams and find that business.
That's a good word. And Leah, when you're not busy in your world of money and mortgage, do you have any hobbies, or what are the things that you're doing for fun?
I love to cook. I'm a mom of 5, and I have 5 grandkids. So for me, it is all about family time.
5 kids?
5.
So you already have built-in organizational skills just to be able to manage the 5.
Absolutely. The devil's in the detail, right?
That sounds good. Well, do the kids say leave it to Leah?
Yes, they do. You can reach me at 832-797-9750. 832-797-9750.
Thank you so much, Leah Stanger. And now, how about Kimberly McFarland? Kimberly, since it's your first time here this year, anyway, it's you and me. We're going to close the show.
Okay.
Once again, you're Kimberly McFarland, doing tremendous work. We have a plan at Stewart Title, don't we?
Yes, we do.
To be able to meet and exceed the expectations of real estate professionals, buyers and sellers all over all the areas.
That's right.
And that's why it's so exciting.
That is why it's so exciting. So let us help you in your next transaction, and let us know how we can help. 713-408-0255.
And I bet if someone wants to bring a contract to us, we're going to be overjoyed, but also we're going to be able to add value in a magnificent way.
Absolutely. It's key.
Well, thank you. It's great to see you. And thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Knapik. Together with John Bramlett, all of us at Stewart Title and Stewart Insurance, we appreciate you listening to the show. Please tell your friends. Look for us on all the media platforms. We are there. And once again, you could see this show. You could see the guests. That's right. You heard them, but you say, hey, I want to see the guest. I want to see the excitement in the studio. It's easy. Just go to stewart.com/radio. That's right. Stewart.com/radio. In addition, that is where you can find the show archives of all the shows Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. Stewart.com/radio.